So all you could kind of do was do the World Championships and the European Championships. So I won the junior, I think it was junior Europeans, travelled all around Europe, America, places like that. And then it got to a point where you can't win nothing else, you know?
Right.
There's a tournament called the Irish Open, which is the biggest tournament in the kickboxing world, basically. Over 4,000 competitors. And I won that a couple of times as well.
A couple of times?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And then from there, that's it. And then I finished world number 1 for 2 years running.
That's it.
And I thought, right, I need to move on.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Family Podcast with your two favourite brothers. My name is Sammy.
My name is Don.
And welcome to the show, everyone. Now today, we got a future champion in the building.
Yeah.
Shannon, how you doing?
I'm very well. How are you?
Yeah, good. Thank you for coming down. I know you had a busy day, so we always respect the time.
No, it's all good. Glad to be here.
Good.
We like that.
Yeah, man. And so, I know that you come from like a fighting family.
Yeah.
So, my first question is going to be, how was that growing up?
To be honest, I think it was really cool when I was younger, because you're walking around, you're at school, and you think, yeah, no one can touch me. Do you know what I mean? But then it was always a case of, if I did get into any arguments or anything like that, my dad, because he's the one that started off, he wouldn't help us. You know, we had to do it ourselves, you know? But no, growing up, it was cool. It was, for me, obviously, it's the norm. But yeah, I think now that I'm older, I think it's absolutely fantastic.
Because you started at a really young age, like 5.
Yeah, I was 5, yeah.
What?
That is mad.
How can you imagine if I started professional fighting at 5? Or like, not even professional, but like had that, bro, I'll be punching out everyone.
No, but see, I think you say that, but then...
But you learn discipline.
Yeah. Because it's kind of like you don't want to bring... And especially for you, because you fought out of your dad's training gym, innit?
Yeah. So he was my coach and dad at the same time.
See? So there's no way you're going to bad up your dad's reputation.
Yeah. I don't know, bro. I'm a bit reckless, so I still catch a couple. Do you know what it is? Yeah, like, as a child, I was mad emotive, innit? So you could just be like, yo, Don. Yo, what's good, bro? Shut up. But from there, it's game, innit?
Fair enough. And do you feel like you were all competitive?
As in my family?
Yeah.
Yes, very, very competitive.
And do you think that helped?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Because I would think that I've looked at families like the Joneses from the UFC, innit? So you got John Jones and then you got his 2 brothers and they're in the NFL. So they must have pushed each other to grow and stuff. And are you the youngest?
I'm the youngest, yeah.
Oh, so you probably got it.
I'm the youngest and the last one remaining.
Who's the most competitive?
No, that'd be me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't feel like Simon's the...
Most competitive?
Yeah.
No, that's nuts, bro. That boy's not competitive, innit? He cares about drip. That's it, innit?
Yeah.
I'd say out of all of us, I'm probably the most competitive.
Is it?
Yeah, bro. Like, mad. Fam, how else did I end up drinking a whole bottle of Jack Daniels? Because somebody dared me to, bro. Would you do that?
Stupidity.
Yeah, see? So you're not competitive?
Well, I'm competitive in other things, though.
Like what?
Like trying to win this award. Hey!
That was a good drop.
Yeah, quick plug. So, how long did you fight as a... okay, let's go back a little bit because I know that you started in kickboxing first.
Yeah, it's been a whole journey.
Yeah.
But yeah, I started in kickboxing first. My dad started in taekwondo and then with my elder sister, and then when that kind of fizzled out, he then moved to kickboxing. But in the sporting world, there's so many different types of kickboxing, but the one that we done was called points fighting. Okay. So you're not allowed to knock people out and you have to score points. So you move, you score a point, you stop. So it's not like karate, it's more freestyle.
Right.
So it's very exciting.
Yeah.
You know, you can jump, kick them in the head and you move and you feint. So yeah, I started out in kickboxing and I'd done that for a good 5 years old to about 18 years old.
Oh, wow. That's a long time.
Yeah. And then in the kickboxing as well, it's not in the Olympics. So as growing up, I've never had the aspirations to go to the Olympics because it was never in my sport. So all you could kind of do was do the World Championships and the European Championships. So I won the junior, I I think it was Europeans, junior Europeans, travelled all around Europe, America, places like that. And then it got to a point where you can't win nothing else, you know?
Right.
There's a tournament called the Irish Open, which is the biggest tournament in the kickboxing world, basically. Over 4,000 competitors. And I won that a couple of times as well.
A couple of times?
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. And then from there, that's it. And then I finished world number 1 for 2 years running.
That's it.
And I thought, right, I need to move on. So when I then found people from the kickboxing had moved to the taekwondo, but the GB taekwondo living in Manchester, I was like, oh, if they can do that, why can't I do that? So I went to university for 7 days, and then, but because I applied for uni and the GB taekwondo, but I had to go to uni because I hadn't heard nothing back yet.
Right.
So I moved in for freshers for 7 days.
The best part of uni.
Yeah. moved all my stuff up to Worcestershire, and then I was going to be a PE teacher.
Oh, nice.
Not sure where that come from, but I was going to be a PE teacher. And then I got the email from the GB taekwondo saying, you've been accepted.
Yeah.
So I went back to Watford, took all my stuff down there for 2 weeks, packed up again to go to Manchester, and was there for about 9 months.
Okay.
Wasn't really for me, if I'm honest. No, it wasn't for me. Just, I don't know, the sport was just very different. And I then had a hip injury, so I had to take some time off. And then they kind of released me from the team. And then I thought, right, what am I going to do? Went back to kickboxing, finished world number 1.
That's a world number 1. Hey, listen, people, you hear this? World number 1. I'm trying my hardest to be nice in it. I want no problems out here. But yeah, that's crazy.
Then from there, I thought, no, Shannon, you need to, nothing else interests me in life, because there is a few things, but because I'd done sport my whole life, I was like, I need to make this work. So I went to MMA for one session with a guy called Michael Page, who I've known my whole life. Yeah. He's like a brother, so he's absolutely great.
Oh, sick.
So I went down to London Shoot Fighters, done a session there. Oh, yep. Went back home, thought, definitely, let's change this up. Then I thought, right, boxing is the one.
Yeah.
So started out boxing, never looked back.
Oh, mad.
What do you think attracted you to boxing in particular? Because obviously, as a kickboxer, you're I don't want to say losing, but you're taking away some of the tools that you spent quite a long time honing.
Yeah. So. I think because I could always punch quite well. And just the elements on boxing, you can go on you can fight on TV, you can do the media part, you can do it all. And boxing enables you to do that. So yeah. Now,
this question was going to come later, but I feel like I want to ask it now. Yeah. And I asked Gemma the same kind of question, innit? But what is your view on the new celebrity boxing that's come about? Do you have any thoughts on it, really? Because I do. Like the boxing community is divided on
so I think, again, my opinion's changed. So when I first saw it, I was like, nah, they can't be doing this. When the likes of Floyd fought, and I'm like, no, keep what you've done, you know, don't change it. But then again, for me being new into the sport and then hearing kind of others talk about it, a lot of people are saying it's bringing more eyes onto the sport. And the more I think about it and deep it, I'm like, no, you're right. It is bringing more eyes onto the sport. So to bring more eyes onto the sport, I think that's a good thing.
Good thing. Yeah. No, I tend to agree in it.
Yeah.
But like you, I kind of go back and forth because I remember, like, I'm a mixed martial arts fan in it. So I remember when the UFC signed CM Punk from wrestling.
You was vexed. Yeah.
I was fuming. I was like, what are you doing? But at the same time, I remember how people felt when Brock Lesnar joined as well. And he actually was good. He went on to be heavyweight champion and stuff.
Okay.
So sometimes you can get people who are quite good, if that makes sense. So yeah, I just wanted to get your views on that.
Yeah, I think as well, the boxing is so, you don't realise, you if you're not a boxer and you watch it on TV, you might think, oh, I can do that, you know?
Yeah.
All of that makes boxing, you know? So when, as a professional athlete, you're doing that day in, day out, and then you've got YouTubers just coming in to box, like, we train so hard. And I'm not saying they don't train hard, but I'm saying that is our job, you know?
There's a dedication to the craft.
But if it's bringing more eyes on the sport and, you know, bringing it up, raising the profile, then...
So be it. Yeah. Necessary evils.
Yeah.
When was the first time that you kind of, well, have you always, but when was the first time you kind of believed in boxing as, this is terrible wording of a question.
See why I ask a question?
Yeah, he asked a question. But when was the first time that you actually acknowledged your skill in boxing, where you was like, actually, I'm really good at this. I'm almost surprising myself.
Yeah, I think probably because we spent I wasn't going to turn professional. I was going to stay amateur, but then COVID hit. So we thought the smart move is, with my age, I'm still young, but with my age, we thought, let's use this time to really nail in and work on the pro style. And I think it was probably about 7 months ago now, 8 months ago, where I thought, no, do you know what? I can do this. You know, when I look back on videos, obviously I had a kickboxing style, bouncy. Yeah, I could punch, but I was always up rather than down.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So now when I look in the mirror and I'm shadow boxing or skipping, I'm like, nah, look, I'm a boxer.
Yeah.
You know?
Transformation.
So when I look back and I'm like, the transformation, it's been insane. And my coach, hats off to him, Coach G, let's do this time, you know, any day I want to do, he'll change things. He's there, you know, doesn't let me miss a session. And he's been with me since 2018 to now.
And that accountability, I suppose it goes a really, really long way in terms of how you cultivate your craft and stuff like that. And so you signed with a promotion?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So how was that for you? Like, were you expecting it? How did it kind of come about?
I think because I know what I can do when I'm in the ring and things like that, but I call it a boxing CV, but like a boxing resume. Like, I don't have that. I've come from another sport, right? So when that come about, I was over the moon, because I know I train hard. I know I'm dedicated, and I know I'm going to go up. You know, I'm not going to go down. I'm going to go up. So yeah, when that come about, I was just over the moon, and it just put me like, I'm tunnel vision anyway, but I was like, right, no, let's do this.
Yeah, you got something to really work for, innit? And do you have any dates at the moment? I don't know if you...
Yeah, I do.
Oh, yeah,
so
yeah,
I'm currently in training camp. I don't know if I can say the date, but it's end of March.
Okay. Nice.
So I'm very, very excited because it's been, we've been ready. We've been ready for a while now.
I suppose COVID throws a lot of spanner in the works and stuff like that. But do you feel like it gave you a chance to hone in on stuff too? Or not really?
Yeah, I think we was getting ready, then bumped in the work, then we was getting ready. So I think now that date is set, we're flying.
Yeah. And what's your view on sparring? Because again, the community seems to be a bit divided. I don't know if it's the same in boxing, but some people kind of like, you need to be in the fight to understand what it's like to be in a tough fight. And so people want to spar hard. And then other people say, well, you can leave too much in the gym by sparring too hard. Yeah. So where do you sit on?
I'm a bit of both. I think for those who have been boxing their whole life, have had a whole lot of experience. Different fights that they've had might have given them that experience that they need. Whereas for me, I'm here for it all because the kickboxing is very different to the boxing. So my sparring is where we are getting that experience.
Right.
Do you see what I mean? Yeah. Different situations and scenarios. So some are hard, some are not, you know.
Some are working on drills and stuff like that. No, that is sick.
Did you ever have like a first time where you was kind of in the ring and you was like, I'm actually so much stronger than this person?
Yeah, there's been a few times. But then there's also been times where I'm like, whoa, you know? Okay. But not because I got beat up or anything like that. It's just the feeling in that spar, you know? And then you got to dig deep and you've got to keep going. And you're like, no, you talk to yourself in your head and you're like, no, there's 2 minutes to go. Let me dig down, you know?
And have you always had that?
Not always. Like I said, some spars are a little bit different. But it's just, I don't know, when you're in the ring, just something just takes over. You know, you don't think, well, for me, it's like, if someone looked at my Spotify playlist and it says training, like my sister the other day when she come down from Bristol and was like, what is this playlist? And I'm like, she's like, it's meant to be training. But I'm that person that I would need emotional music to get me pumped to train.
Okay.
That's my thing, you know?
No, that makes sense because I've heard like some of the stuff that Canelo listens to, and it's bare samba kind of
that's his
music.
thing.
Yeah, so he's just there like doing a little dance, and I'm like, bro, are you supposed to be
what the hell, bro? Yeah.
Who am I to say anything to Canelo? Innit? He's got loads and loads of accolades. So it's funny how different people have different styles. You know,
that's because lots of people don't really like. For me, if I'm training in the gym, innit, the best music for me is something like heavy metal, innit? But like loads of people are like, yeah, I listen to loads of heavy metal in the gym. But then saying that, like,
I wish I could move my chair like in the opposite.
Why did everyone say that? Everybody, like, trust me, everybody gets onto me for it. But I'm like, it's the most like intense music, innit? Like, and also I started off in power gyms, innit? So like, everybody's screaming all over the place and all the rest of it. So
acclimatized.
Yeah. Product of my environment.
Oh, that makes sense, innit? So, what kind of things do you do to get? I mean, I suppose you've always had the mental aptitude to fight, but do you find that certain things put you in a good place to be fighting? Do you have to be reading certain things or listening to certain things?
More positive things I read or listen to, but I think about my life is what then gets me pumped. You know,
so like the journey.
Yeah.
And is it more what's to come as opposed to what you've been through, or? Yeah,
it's also what's to come, and it's also what I've been through. I think the journey and just my life itself, just gets me emotional.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. It seems like if a person who's a good boxer takes 2 losses, 3 losses, it's like, forget about that guy, you know?
Yeah.
It's a bit savage, isn't it?
Yeah, it's harsh. It is.
Whereas like in a sport like MMA, you've got someone like Donald Cerrone who's lost like 10 times. Yeah. And everyone still loves him. Everyone will still pay for it.
But do you think that's a UK mentality? Like, in terms of...
Nah.
No?
Because they do it to US boxers as well.
What, to forget them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's UK, no.
You think it's just a sport
I think it's the sport in
I can see what you say, because like, especially if you're someone with a clean record, people expect you to do Mayweather and expect you to do the clean record.
People love
life.
But that's I listened to a podcast the other day, boxing podcast, and they mentioned about Terence Crawford, and they wouldn't make I can't remember who it was with, but they wouldn't make the fight because he doesn't sell enough tickets.
See, that's
so
mad.
as skillful and talented as he is, you know.
But someone told me that's why the heavyweights make the most money, because like
people pay to
see the knockout, innit?
Yeah.
And I suppose if you're a purist, that's a bit annoying.
Yeah, that must be very annoying. Yeah, because as you said, it's all the intricacies that make boxing creative.
Yeah, but people just want the knockout. Knock him out, go on.
But the thing is, they don't really know what they want, because if you knock him out in the first round, 10 seconds flat, everyone's like, "Oh man."
Yeah, no, you're right.
It's kind of like,
I paid all this money for 10 seconds. Yeah, no, it's true. But I can see why there's a knockout is, you know, have you knocked someone up?
No, it's yet to come.
Oh yeah. Oh, keep your eyes on. I'm sure it's gonna happen still, because I've seen you hitting them pads. Oh yeah, it looks mad. Do you feel like you get, because obviously there's a narrative set by Hollywood sometimes that a woman comes to the boxing gym and the coach don't really want to train her, and the guys in there trying to make fun of her, and you've never had that experience, have you?
No, I go in, I'm fully focused. When I first ever met my coach, he was never, I don't want to train you or anything like that. He was very, I think it was a circuit that I'd done at the end, and he was like, whoa, because he's given that circuit to other people, and I smashed it. Yeah. So I think at that point he was like, no, she's serious, you know? But when I go to the gym, I'm serious. I say hi to people and that's it. Don't talk to me. Do you know what I mean? I'm that vision, sort of, but then people get the wrong perception of me, because I'm like straight face when I'm when I'm training, but then I think I'm a lovely girl when you talk to me. So people think I'm not approachable, but then when they do approach me, they're like, "Wow, we didn't think you was like that."
You know? Have you had that all your life, or just in the boxing gym?
No, I think all my life.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
that's. But I suppose in a way you're getting war ready, like you're flipping on a switch, innit? So you don't really want somebody to be like, "Oh, so did you see Standards yesterday?"
Yeah, like for me, this is like, I have to make this work, you know? And that's why, again, I think I put so much into it, and I'm so focused, because yeah, there's backup plans, but do I want them backup plans?
Yeah.
No, like that's not what I want to do. I want to box and, you know, make my stamp. So that's why when I'm in the gym, talk to me after.
Yeah.
You know?
So you said you're quite a competitive person. Do you reckon that was from birth, or do you reckon that was because of the sports that you did?
No, birth. If you meet my mum, gosh, she doesn't fight, but no, it was from birth. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And your mum in particular, or
she's very, with her side of the family. It kind of not broke off, but it's just our family. If we see them, we say hello and things like that. But she was just very, this is what I want to do, and then the same with my dad. And then when they joined forces, it was, you know,
you get that environment. Innit? I like that though.
Yeah, I know you. Yeah, I know you like that.
I like that because it's interesting for me talking to you because I have a lot of aspirations for my daughter, and I want there to be strong women that she can look up to. And we're in this weird time where I feel like some people are really threatened with some of the things that women are starting to move into. Yeah, you know, and I suppose it's weird because as a guy, you don't ever think about them. Like, you don't think about it really. And then you have a daughter and you're like, well, what is her life going to look like? You know, and you have all of these things that you think are going to be helpful, but then what do you know? You know? You know what I mean? Yeah. And so I think it's really important that there are young women like yourself going out there and pushing the boundaries so that when she's a bit older, she can look and be like, oh yeah, Shannon.
Yeah, and I don't think it's just boxing. I think all sports are now, females are, you know. Yeah,
it's true. It's mad because you look at how long like the FIFA franchise has been going. It's only the last 3 or 4 years that we've had female teams in it. And even then they ain't got it right because it's just the internationals. But
I find all that stuff weird, you know. Like, but you know, I find a lot of stuff weird, innit? But I'm just like,
Don's favourite phrase is like, people are weird.
Yeah, they're mad.
You're gonna have to get it on.
Crazy, bro. Like,
you gotta get it on a shirt or something.
Yeah, no, definitely, bro.
Make your own merch.
Yeah. I think I'll stick it on the side of a car or something, bro. Like, yeah, I just don't understand it. Like, what do you mean? Like, we are people. Like, generally class, we're people. Yeah. If I'm a good fighter, Shannon's a good fighter, we're just good fighters. What do you mean? Like, oh, you can't join the sport because you're to me, like, that stuff is wild, isn't it?
Yeah.
But anyway.
But I think it's notions, isn't it? Notions that men should be a certain way, women should be a certain way, and if there's an attack on that, then, and I wouldn't even say an attack, I would say a progression of, then people don't like change, man.
So Sam's giving me a question.
Oh, fantastic.
Have you ever felt that males are intimidated by you?
Funny you say that because I was thinking about.
Yes.
Yeah, and I don't think it's like intimidation because I'm big or scary or like this. It's what's under here. Do you know what I mean? So I like it, my arms and things like that, and my legs, but it's like if I go out and I'm wearing a top or a dress or something, like I said, I like it, but I'll get, so what do you do? Wrestling or da-da-da. And then when I say what I do, then it's not that it puts them off, but I think they're like, yeah, I think stereotypically guys or some guys would want a nice female, you know, girly girl. So.
Yeah. No, I hear it because I hear it all the time. Like, I hear it all the time. Yeah. So back a day, some years ago, before all the grey hairs started popping through, you know, I was really into bodybuilding.
I thought you were going to say I was really a gallus, innit? But
bro, why are you doing it, bro?
No,
see the ring on the finger? Like, let's not rehash history right now, yeah?
Oh, right. Like, you didn't know deny it. I thought it was going to be like, nah, bro, that's not me.
Bro, right, I'm walking my truth very, very strongly, fam. But used to hear it all the time, like, and not just with guys, like, I don't want a girl who's too muscly in it, but you'd also hear it with women, like when they came into the gym and their first thing would be like, oh, I want to strengthen my hips and I want to get some abs, but I don't want to be too muscly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so this has always been a persistent ideology that like women are supposed to be soft and things like that. I've said before, like, I want you to carry some heavy shit, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, help me with the bags, like.
But I think I used to get quite put down by it. Before, but then obviously, like, boxing's my main focus, so I'm like, boxing first, you know, relationship after.
Yeah.
But it was like the other day, I actually went to get some food with Gemma, and there was these guys on the table next to us, and they were great guys, and we were just talking about my fight and stuff, and they're like, we really want to support. And then we were just talking about like positivity and stuff, and Gemma was like, yeah, you need to get a book and calendar and da-da-da. Then the guy was like, oh, can I have your Instagram so we can get tickets from you? So I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. And then he's scrolling through. Oh my gosh, I would be with you here. Then the next one, but I wouldn't be with you here. Then the next one,
that's wild.
I would be with you here, but not here. Do you know what I mean? But like the old Shannon would have been like, oh my God, is there something wrong with me? But now I'm like, no, that's on you. Like, you don't want to be with me. No, it's not about being, I wasn't going to be with him, sorry. But I'm just saying, in general, overall, the right person will be with me.
Just
you know? So the part of stressing about that and stuff, I'm over that, you know?
Yeah. But do you worry that you might have to be your man's defender? Like, I suppose you don't want to get with a guy who's like, I don't know, like, can't fight. Like, imagine, like, what you know, innit? And then you see him fighting and he's like...
Hey, Sammy, why you like this, bro?
You're gonna think, you know what I'm saying? You're going to think of him in a bad way.
I think...
Well, don't it bother you, like, that he fights like that?
No, she can.
If I get treated right, then that's what matters.
Okay, yeah.
You can go under intense training, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but what if you don't want to, innit?
Oh, yeah.
That's the thing.
Like,
yeah, no. If I get treated right and they support my boxing, or just generally, you know.
Well, that's wild, isn't it? I mean, it's different for me, innit? Because, like, obviously, if I'm marrying a female, innit, like, I'm not gonna expect her to be all hands up, innit? She might be in it, and that don't bother me, bro. Like, I'm a outside kid, innit? Like, so. But yeah, that's mad.
It is mad. So
what if he runs and hides behind you? Like, that's like generally.
You know what?
The flight is kind of in your heart, innit?
Yeah, I wouldn't. That. Yeah.
You wouldn't bother you.
See you later.
Oh, see you later.
No, because it's mad.
It's true.
Bro, I've said this so many times, yeah? There's nothing like cowardice, like, to put people off you. Like, I remember, this was back a day, in sociology, and they were saying that one of the hallmarks of, like, a masculine man, was his willingness to engage in violence. Not even winning, but the guy who's always down. Like, you respect that guy, whether he gets smashed up, whether he gets, you know, but he's just like,
he got hot.
He's just like, raw, I'll do that, because it's almost like he sets a boundary, innit? When someone violates that, and they're like, no, like, you know what I'm saying? Everyone's just like,
it's like all them videos and you see the big hench guys and like, what if he grabs your girl's bum in it, and then the guys are like, oh my God. It's like, bro, like, come on, like, I don't care if I'm a broomstick in it, like, that's a violation, innit? I'm gonna call you out on it. So, but yeah.
So how, I want to go back a little bit. How did you find school?
I went to school. I wasn't a bad girl at school. Was it for me? No. School was okay. Yeah, not really much to say.
Yeah.
Do you think you've always had that kind of level of maturity, like, this is for me and this isn't for me?
Yeah, I think when I was at school, my dad has a kickboxing gym, as I mentioned. And my whole mentality was, if school doesn't work out, I'll take the gym.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? So it was always, sport was always in my mind somewhere. So I was always going to do something within sport.
Were you ever tempted by other sports like football, rugby?
No, when I did do football at school, I'd always kick the ball in the air. You know, when you meant to header, I would kick the ball. So that wasn't for me. Did long distance running, again, that's not for me. I'm more of a sprinter rather than a long distance.
Yeah, short and powerful.
Too short for basketball. So all of that was not for me.
And are you doing runs now as part of boxing?
Yeah. Run 3 times a week. Add the sprints in.
That's mad.
Do I like it? No. Do I have to do it? Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's like one of them staples of boxing, innit? It's like, when I think of boxing training, I think of skipping and I think of running and pads.
Yeah.
And obviously the heavy bag as well.
What's your favourite part of training?
The favourite part is the learning.
Okay.
Because I think I pick it up quite well. And then the feeling afterwards.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not one. Do you know what? Yeah, I've always said I wouldn't do any. I don't understand it because when I was young, I was so active in it. But like now that I've got older, I can't imagine being hit in the face. Like I'm just like, bro, like that's not gonna run in it.
Bro, for years, yeah, where's my camera? My camera's this
Yeah.
one. For years, yeah, I have been trying to get this guy to do Muay Thai.
No, it's not
He's
happening.
long. He's got them legs.
Everyone has their plan
Spider.
for my life. I don't know why. I'm the middle child, innit? So everyone just like, oh yeah, like you should do. Why don't you go into this? Oh, you're not married yet. Let me find you a wife. I'm like, bro, like leave me alone, innit? You know what I'm saying? Like, no Muay Thai, bro. Teach your son.
Who? Oh, my son.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's my son. You don't have a son?
Yeah. You know what? Yeah, I was bang on it before he arrived, innit? And I look at him and his little cute cheeks and his face, and I'm like, do I really want this boy to get punched up? But I probably do.
Would you let him go into boxing? Or a fighting sport?
Yes. Boxing, I don't know. Like, because so much of boxing is like getting punched in the head. Like, so much of it. Whereas, like, with new sports like MMA, there's some...
It's even worse.
Yeah, well, some people think that, but
he
like,
loved it. Like, he's passionate about MMA.
There's so much you can do in terms of like grappling, you know, where...
You grab...
Yeah, but it's different. You have like plums and underhooks, overhooks. You have takedowns where, obviously...
But I think you two speak from... Do you know what this is?
Boxing has head movement.
Because Shannon's actually done it, innit?
Yeah.
And you're hypothesizing, innit? So this is the first time. Do you know why? Because Sam is so learned in things that he really likes, innit? So for the people who haven't done it, innit, yeah, it's easy for you to maneuver, innit?
Yeah, no, I know what... Obviously, I know the criticisms, innit? Because there's so much more you can use. Like, getting shin blasted to the face is not the same as a hook. Do you know what I'm saying? And then you've got elbows, knees. But I think that, especially if you're exceptionally well-rounded, and again, maybe I'm just hypothesizing, innit? I feel like there's moments, especially in MMA, as you start to get good, where you can take things to the ground, and there's a lot of scrambling and maneuvering amongst the different positions. Whereas boxing is like stand up, and it's like body and head. Like, I just feel like you absorb more strikes within the time that you fight. But I might be wrong.
Yeah, no, I'm going to disagree.
Yeah.
Because the MMA, you kick, you can punch, you can take them to the
other
floor.
parts as well, like leg kicks.
Yeah, that's what you can do in MMA, so that's worse.
Not... See, I don't know. Like I said...
You could get a broken leg and brain damage from MMA at the same time.
Yeah, but broken leg, just pins, or if, you know...
This is someone who's never had a broken leg.
But I think with the boxing, obviously, I've not had my debut yet with no head guard. Done a few rounds with no head guard, but I think the adrenaline, like, it takes over, you know? So you might think about it for a minute, and then it's like, no, let's go.
Yeah.
So how do you stop yourself from, like, getting really aggressive to the point where it's detrimental to your actual training?
What, as in when I fight?
Yeah.
Discipline.
There's loads of discipline. And has that been something that you've always had, or is it something that you've had to build up?
Build up. I think when I was younger, in the kickboxing, when we flew out to America, the girl went off the mat, because it's not a ring in kickboxing, it's a matted area.
Oh, yeah.
She went into the crowd. So I've gone through the crowd to go and get her, and I got disqualified at such a young age.
Oh,
but it's like, you wouldn't dare do that now, you know? So yeah, the discipline and...
Man said, come here, I'm looking for you. Don't run for me.
Oh, that's mad.
Oh, man, I like that. I know that, obviously, because there is such a discipline to it, because a lot of people just think it's punching, innit?
Yeah,
it's
mad.
You almost have to recalibrate yourself, because if somebody does something, like if they're a dirty fighter, for example, you have to be able to keep your composure.
Yeah.
It's hard work, isn't it?
Yeah, because then if you do something crazy, then that's on you.
Yeah.
You know, whereas if you use that to your advantage.
Yeah. Now, how much do you think about the mental side? Because, you know, there's like the dark arts in it. Like guys like Chisora in it likes to kiss guys like at the weigh-in and stuff like that, get in their head. How much are you more of a, because you come across, I might be wrong, as quite a stoic person. You just see what's in front of you and you kind of analyze and boom, when I see you, yeah, I'm going to chase you through the crowd kind of thing, innit?
Yeah, I think because I've not had my time yet, I think we'll see once I do weigh in, you know, and stand in front of her. And but right now, I think...
Like in your kickboxing days, did you have a lot of mental games that you played with?
No.
Just...
I was quite respectful, I think.
That's what I'm saying. That's how you come across.
Respectful.
Yeah. I like those fighters.
Yeah.
You know, apart from maybe Tyson Fury, I like Tyson, but he's got his shenanigans, but he's a good boxer too. So I think that's kind of saves him from being like a gimmick. Because sometimes when I see guys who like have to turn the whole thing into parade, and again, I get it's a business, and sometimes the parade can generate interest and stuff like that. But I just think, maybe that dude is overcompensating.
And you wanted me to go into Muay Thai? Bro, I'll be giving it, bro. Like 100%, bro.
But you know what, yeah?
I'll be making Conor McGregor numbers, bro, because
Yeah,
I will cause a problem.
Yeah, but Muay Thai, see, that's where you might fall down, because Muay Thai is very
quite respectful. Yeah, it's very traditional. Yeah.
But at the same time, like, it depends. Like, if you fight in the West, like, they love that stuff, man.
Yeah.
Like, so you could be the bad boy of
Nah, it's not.
Muay Thai.
Bro, talk to your child, innit? I'm not your child, bro. I'm not getting into Muay Thai.
I talked to him, but he don't understand me yet.
Yeah. Early programming. Yeah, no.
And one thing I wanted to ask is, what would you consider your biggest regret sports-wise? Do you have one? Because it seems like a pretty...
I don't like to have regrets because I think everything that's happened has planned out to now.
Yeah.
But if I had to say something, I would have liked to go into boxing a bit earlier.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it does seem like one of them sports where, like, you start at like maybe 8.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
Yeah, because I don't mind. I think I've picked it up very, very quick and very fast, and very well. But I think if I just started maybe 2 years earlier, you know, I'd done a few more amateur fights, obviously because COVID happened. Because we wanted to do the elites, we wanted to do the Haringey box cups, all the big ones we wanted to do. Not so much the Olympics, because again, it was never in my in my plan. So I think maybe just 2 or 3 years before, have a few more amateur fights, get the experience there, and then turn pro.
Yeah.
It seems like you have this great love for boxing. Do you think that's in terms of just fighting in general, or do you think that you actually really found your niche with boxing? Yeah,
I think we've always, in my house, always had the boxing on.
Okay.
All the time. But I think it's a love and passion for martial arts and fighting.
Okay.
But the love for boxing is there, don't get me wrong, otherwise I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course.
And I'm understanding it more every day. So the love for boxing is happening, but it's a love for martial arts and sport and fighting.
And if you had one kind of martial art that you wanted to train that you never ever got the chance to train?
No, probably not any of the others, if I'm honest.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough.
Because I was about to
I'm more like freestyle and quick and sharp. So the others like karate and those ones.
Yeah. A lot of stances. Yeah, I hear that. Because I was going to say, and please ask your promoters to forgive me in it, but you have a lot of skills and you've gone about things in a way that a lot of the best mixed martial artists have gone about stuff. So like with Demetrius Johnson, he would train for just boxing fights and he would go off with his coach and do a boxing tournament, and then he'd go and he'd enter a kickboxing tournament and he'd learn about, you know, doing all of that stuff and then seeing how he places. I know you've just got into boxing, innit, but do you ever have a plan to have some grappling experience?
I think, again, the career, I'm 25 now, so it's not a long career. I think it's the money's there. I've done if I want to do what I want to do in boxing first. I want to move up and down the weights. I want to win the belts, but I wouldn't mix them right now.
Yeah,
I would want to do what I need to do in boxing, and then if it's there,
then take it.
But it's not something I would say yes right now to.
Yeah,
I've got a lot I want to do in boxing and complete first.
Because that's kind of like how Clarissa Shields done it. She built up this massive reputation as a boxer and then started to dabble in like mixed
but again it's where the money's at for her.
That's facts, because Dana White don't like to pay his fight. Well, let me not say that.
Listen, bro, I'm trying to have a long prosperous career as a podcaster. You keep shooting people down. You're gonna have some little court cases on us.
Nah, but it's a weird one, because people always make the comparison between what like top boxers get, like Anthony Joshua, for example, and then what somebody like Dustin Poirier gets, fighting in a title fight, and they're not even comparable.
But I suppose you get that because we spoke about like YouTubers. Like YouTubers get like money, bro.
Some.
Yeah. And technically, for someone who's studied the skill of boxing, and again, as you said, not that they haven't, but it's kind of like, so wait a minute, what? Like, so for example, Conor McGregor coming into the game and being like, yeah, I want to face Floyd Mayweather, innit? Like, people who've been queuing up to face Floyd Mayweather for time were probably like, this? What? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, so
I know it divided a lot of opinion.
I mean, it would, innit? But, the culture's the culture, bro. Like, when the money goes up, innit? And especially massive companies and corporations, I suppose, when they see that, they're like, okay, this makes a lot of business sense, innit? Like, I'm going to train a young fighter and watch them, as you said, some people don't get paid to fight, innit? Let's just be honest, innit? And I'm going to watch you do that, and we're probably going to turn a profit of like £25,000 or something. Cool. We could put a YouTuber up there and he's going to make 7.6 million. And then you're like, all right, no brainer, innit?
But he's a manager now, Jake Paul.
Manages
Amanda Serrano.
Yeah. Do you know what? Despite what everybody thinks, I've actually heard he's actually a very good and powerful boxer.
Yeah.
No, you disagree?
Well, it depends. Like, who? It's real easy.
Sammy's like, who's he?
It's like he hasn't fought a legit boxer, so it's real hard to say. And he fought guys who were like MMA guys, like Tyron Woodley. Who was on the decline of his career and doesn't box. Like he doesn't box. He's a power puncher who can wrestle, but he's not a boxer, and so it's hard for me to say, like, I thought you was going to say he's a good businessman, which he is.
He's a good
but in terms of boxing, I think that as soon as he fights somebody competent, which is why I was quite interested to see the Tommy Fury fight.
I think that'll still happen though. I think he's on the road to recovery and then they'll get it going. Maybe.
Hopefully, because I think Tommy can beat him. I don't know though.
It's going to be interesting.
It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting.
That one's going to be an interesting one.
And then I wanted to ask you about dieting. Are you somebody who's very strict on it, or do you? Yeah, I'll just leave it at that.
No, my weight is always good. I'm not that fighter that is 10 kilos above their weight. I just can't do that. So when it comes to fight time, I'm strict, of course. But do I have to be as strict as if I was 10 kilos over? No. I can afford to have something if I wanted or needed something. So my diet, I've got no issues with my dieting. I don't think I will for a while.
That's one of the things. Like, you see me, no diets, bro.
No diets.
No diet. My wife makes cakes.
Food. I love food.
Oh yeah, you're done. Yeah. His wife makes cakes, so it's game over.
Yeah, game over. You want some cake?
See, I've been lucky. I've been skinny my whole life, innit? So it's kind of like I just eat whatever I eat, and everyone's like, "Oh, you look so skinny." I'm like, "Don't know, bro." Don't try it, fam. I put in the work. While you was out here writing stories, I was playing basketball, running around, riding bikes. I've been active my whole life. And he used to put me through my paces as well. He used to do wild stuff and make me lift weights, like stomp my growth. Just want me to be a short.
Man said stomp my growth. He's 6'1", bro. Let me look into the camera. He's 6'1". Yeah. Talking about stomp my growth. Don't chat shit,
bro. I'm supposed to be taller than this, G. What are you talking about, bro?
So what are your plans for the rest? I suppose the rest of the year. I don't know how much you can say and stuff like that, but what personal ambitions do you have?
Yeah, so I want to get a few fights under my belt this year. How many that would be, I'm not 100% sure. To have obviously this debut, and for that to go really well. And then I want to get a few more brands on board. I've got a really good sponsor, which I can't mention at the moment, but that's huge. Like, very, very huge. Very grateful and appreciative.
Even though we don't know, congratulations.
Yeah, congrats.
But yeah, that is a really big one, and that means a lot, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my plans for this year. Get some brands on board, have my debut, get a few more fights under, and get my name out there.
Do you reckon you'll be a fighter, or you may not? That kind of fights on demand. Like, if you're offered, like, you relish the opportunity, or do you feel that you're more likely to be a tiny bit more calculated?
Yeah, I think it depends. Calculated, of course.
Yeah.
Because you have to do what's right. But again, like I said, my weight is never 10 kilo or anything high. So if I needed to get a fight in and I was ready, then yeah, I'd take it. But it depends, obviously, who it is or what it is.
Sure, of course.
So it just depends on the situation and the timing.
If you stay ready, you ain't got get ready.
I hear you, bro.
Get me that.
Yeah.
Don, is there anything that you wanted to add? Yeah.
Bro, there's bare stuff that I want to ask, innit? But you see, when people ask me what I want to ask, innit, then
you forget.
Okay. And is there anything you want to ask us?
Yeah. What inspires you to want to speak to people and get this go on a higher scale?
I'm curious. You know what? I've learned doing this that people are very interesting when you sit down and you take them away from the world and you say, what happened here? What do you think about this? You realize that even people who are quote unquote unassuming have these amazing stories about how they grew up, what their plans are for the future and their ambitions. And the more I do it, the more curious I get as to people. And then you hear people who message you and like, yo, that conversation that you had was good for me. And there's something really rewarding about that for me. And I just fallen in love with this whole process, meeting new people, widening my network, because I'm an introvert. Like, so it's real hard for me to go into a room and make a ton of friends. Yeah. You know, like if I go in, I'm just kind of people watching and maybe I'll talk to one or two people. This is a really controlled way for me to expand, one, my thinking on things, and two, like the amount of people that I know. So it's been great for me.
So philosophical.
Thank you.
But I like when you just said trust in the process, because I'm all for that. In my Instagram bio, it says trust the process.
Yeah.
And even when you think something is slow or not happening, it is happening. You know, and you have to just trust it and know that it will take off. Yeah,
consistency is the name of the game. Like,
yeah.
I don't even know when I realised that, innit? I think I realised it by mistake, innit? Because I've just been in social work so long and talking to people and all the rest of it. So you realise quite quickly that people who have a lane and kind of stay on it, that's what they're well known for. And it's easy to say, okay, this is Sammy, he's a podcast, this is Shannon, she's a boxer. You know, rather than what I do, innit? Where people are like, oh yeah, what's good, Don? Oh yeah, photographer, graphic designer, podcaster, musician. And then it's like, okay, how do you know Don? And then it's like, oh my God. Like, what do I say, innit? But,
yeah.
You know.
I mean, just look at Mo Gilligan. Mo just hosted the Brits.
Yeah.
You know? And he was just consistent.
Yeah.
He made videos. Then he moved on to the next thing when it came along. Then he moved on to the next thing when it came along. And he was consistent. And I think it's a great model because so many people want things quickly. It's like get abs in like 6 minutes.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah, no.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And everything seems to be geared that way now. Like get your food quickly, get this quickly, meet your next husband quickly, meet your next wife quickly. Everything's about like the speed in which something is acquired. And I think there really is, like, without sounding corny, innit, there really is something in the journey and learning the skill and kind of analyzing where you've been, where you are in this moment and where you want to go outside of that. And Yeah, man.
I can't lie. I feel like I live life in slow motion compared to most people. Like, just because, when it comes to me, like, I like things like nature, innit? Like, I'm cool just standing outside, just watching the sky. And people are like, bro, like, what are you doing? I'm like, bro, like, are you seeing the way this is changing?
That's the photographer in you, though.
Yeah,
That's good, though. I think when I went part-time at O2, it made me really appreciate life a lot more because you have your own time.
Yeah.
And I think when I was younger, you'd always be like, oh, I want to be famous. But I think now it's I want the freedom.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That's where I am,
I want the freedom. And I think for my journey, my trust in the process and my journey has taken me 20 years. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And that was what was planned out. It's taken 20 years, you know?
Yeah, it's true. And of course, it must be something that you think about because you're going into a sport where you can become like a household name. And so having the moments where you appreciate what you have now and being able to live your own life, I suppose, is a great moment to have before everything else happens. Because, people are just going to...
Bro, I'm telling you, I'm just trying to do little committee, with people who aren't weirdos, bro. Like, some of you
Everyone's
people...
weird, bro.
Nah, but weirdos I like, innit? Like, some of these weirdos, I don't even like you and you're weird. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the hell, bro? Like, so I'm just... For me, I'm a massive, massive people person. I don't even know how it ended up like that. Well, I suppose I've got 2 brothers, innit? So... But yeah, I've always been a massive, massive people person. So I vibe with people. Like, that's just it, innit? So all this, as I said, all this social media stuff, innit? Like, I'll hit you if you hit me, innit? But you see that stuff with like writing in comments, uploading stuff.
I like it, man.
No, I like it.
I know you love it, bro. Like, I just like it's weird.
Bro, look how many people have come through to this spot, that you've had vibes with, that you follow now and that are turned onto your journey.
I hear that, innit? But we could have linked up and done something. Now we're just doing virtuals, bro. Like, I'm not on it.
Yeah, but
like, I want to cook
it
out.
but it isn't virtual anymore.
No, it's true. It's true. I hear you. Like, I definitely hear you in it, but too much for me. Too much. Like all these pictures, and you want me to put. Hi guys. Forget all of that.
Oh man, so Shannon, thank you for coming down.
Yeah. No problem. Thank you for having me.
No worries. So, ladies and gentlemen,
No. Rerun that, please. What kind of energy was that? First of all, Shannon, can you tell people where they can find you?
Yeah, so you can find me on...
It's been a long day.
My Instagram is Shannon Ryan XX. And then I've also got a YouTube channel. So if you just type in Shannon Ryan official channel, that should also come up.
Hey, I want to see that. So.
It's so good to have 2 of us, because if one is slipping, like man clearly is.
Don't worry, you got 2 kids.
Oh man, so is it alright for me to do it now?
Yeah, that is what we're gonna call it, a rap, ladies and gentlemen.
So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Shannon, thanks again for coming down. You. And you know what to do. Like, share, subscribe. Go follow Shannon as well and be part of her journey. My name is Sammy.
My name is Don.
And we've been the family.
Bow.